Test, test.
Yep, there we go.
Test, yes.
Yes.
All right, Max, I think we're ready to go. All right. Good evening, Duarte community. The board has just returned from closed session, and while in closed session, we did conduct the superintendent's evaluation, but there's no reportable action to be taken at this time. So we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. Madam Vice President, would you mind making an announcement about translation services?
Thank you, yes. Tenemos servicio de traducción para las personas que necesiten escuchar la reunión en español. Está por ahí atrásito Leonor y produce, ¿es Leonor? ¿O sí? No. Marlene. Eso está disponible el idioma en español.
Excellent, thank you very much. All right, we'll do a quick roll call then. Vice President Diaz.
Present.
President Finlay here. Board Member Holguin.
Here.
Board Member Hasso.
Here.
Board Member Reyes.
Here.
Excellent. Dr. Hillman, all of the board is here. What about your cabinet?
We're all here and ready to go.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on now to the flag salute. Board Member Reyes, will you take care of that, please?
Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, and thank you very much, Board Member Reyes. Board Member Hassa, would you mind going through our beliefs, our vision, and our mission, please?
Sure. Our beliefs. We believe we are a community of learners. We believe learning occurs in a culture of caring and respect. We believe all students are motivated to learn when they are engaged in meaningful work that connects to their lives. We believe expectations do influence performances and outcomes. We believe learning increases when there are high expectations for performance and conduct. We believe we have the responsibility to find solutions that enable all students to learn. Our vision, 21st century schools producing 21st century students. Our mission, provide the knowledge, skills, and inspiration for each student for success in college, career, and life.
Thank you very much, Board Member Hasso. Appreciate it. So we'll now move on to the adoption of the agenda. And Dr. Hillman, did you have an announcement about that?
I do. I would like to announce that we would like to pull item 15.5, Resolution 262425 to release committed funds fund balance.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Hillman. So Board, may I have a motion to adopt the agenda as written with the removal of item 15.5?
So move.
Motion by Board Member
Second.
Holguin. Second by Board Member Reyes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 5-0. All right, we can go ahead now and move on to the recognition portion of our meeting. Dr. Hillman.
Wonderful. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Haro, Mr. Louis Haro, our principal of Duarte High School, and he's going to be presenting some certificates to our student athletes. And Mr. Haro, I'll turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Honored to be here this evening to recognize and celebrate our student athletes for our spring season. We had a great spring season. Our tennis team, volleyball team, track and field, swim, baseball and softball team did an outstanding. Most of them making it to the playoffs, and some of them being league champions. So we had a great spring season. Actually, this year, the school year, we actually had a great athletic season altogether. We had lots of recognitions, lots of championships, and playoff contention. So I'd first like to congratulate and welcome, and I know it's summertime, so we're missing a lot of athletes. A lot of them are seniors, but I thank those that did come. We want to start off by recognizing and celebrating our softball team. Our softball team went undefeated in league. They are 4-time league champions. So we're creating a dynasty at Duarte with our softball, our players. They're just outstanding group of young ladies who work extremely hard all year round. So I'd like to call up, if you're here, of course, first and foremost, the league champions. So if you're here, please come up. League champion for Mountain View League softball, Kyra Diaz, Taylor Panado, Janine Luvano, Daniela Maturianera, Allison Michaels, Valeria Nunez, Alicia Ramos, Valeria Hinojosa, Crystal Moran, Cali Pinedo, Emily Ramirez, Priscilla Navarrete, Alyssa Garcia, and coaches Jeremy Michael and Philip Pinado. Do we have any softball player here this evening? Yes, congratulations. Once again, 4-time league champions, back to back to back to back. And with that group, we did have a lot of first team and second team all-leaguers. So being champions, obviously, you're going to have the best player in certain positions. But something we did also have of our softball team, we had the league MVP. So the best player voted by the coaches in the league was Alyssa Garcia. She was a league MVP. Congratulations, Alyssa. Okay, our baseball team went deep into the playoffs. So congratulations to our baseball team. They took 3rd place. It was a very tight, coach is here, good. I didn't see you earlier. Our baseball team went deep into the playoffs. They went into the semifinals this year, which is pretty awesome since thinking that we haven't been into the playoffs in 12 years or so. So we had a great season. So these are recognizing the first team, second team, and honorable mention for our softball, for our baseball team. Asai Trejo, Matthew Solis, Alexander Perez, Adalas Trejo, Marco Valencia, Nathan Petrabud, Chris Chris is a volleyball player. So if you hear your name for baseball, please come up. Nope, okay. All right, moving on to our volleyball team. I did see a few volleyball players. They had another, also a great season going into the playoffs. We had some first and second team all-leaguers. So first team for boys volleyball, Chris Rochin, come on down. Congratulations. And a quick story about Chris. You know, Chris, I think it was a sophomore year. Chris and a group of his friends came to us and said, we don't have a volleyball team. I think it was his freshman year, and demanded one. And he rallied the troops and got his friends together. And because of him and the student needs and wants, we created a volleyball team. And now here we are being successful and competing in the league. So thank you, Chris, for your voice. And second team all league, we got Ethan Finley. Oh, he's up north. So congratulations, Ethan, for second team all league. Only a sophomore, so we're looking for great things from him. Owen DeGannon, first team all league. Honorable mention, Bruno Sanchez. Honorable mention, Brandon Edwards, our valedictorian. Okay, congratulations to our volleyball team. Picture. Okay, let's move on to our tennis. Again, tennis, our boys tennis team did an outstanding job. League champion, undefeated league champion, 2 years in a row. I want to congratulate them for that. Congratulations, tennis team. If I can please call up our coach to help me out here. Our coaches, Elizabeth Hernandez and Steve Hernandez. Come on up. Thank you guys for your efforts, your hard work, your commitment. League champions, we got Sage Romejo, Carlos, is he here? Carlos Mendoza, Jenner Marcos, Brian Barone, Oscar Barajas. Oh, there you are here. I don't see you. Congratulations. Carlos, where are you? Brian, there you are. Oscar Barajas, Aaron Cervantes, Brandon De Arcos. Aaron, come on down. All league champions for tennis. Brandon, congratulations. Aaron, congratulations. George Dalayero, Carlos Mendoza, Kyle Mendoza, Calvin Patrick Yu, oops, where you at? Calvin. I know, where are you? Can you find Kyle, please? Sorry, he has her. Oh, he has them both. He has them both. Calvin. Adam Lemley. And then Sage gets an extra certificate because he was basically the league MVP. So first place for all around, Mr. Sage Romejo.
Yeah, I see you there, Mr. Reyes.
Okay, now let's look at our track and field athletes. Again, just outstanding job. The hard work they did was impressive. We had some school records broken this year by a couple of our athletes, or one of our athletes in particular. But our track team, I'd like to call first place for the high jump, Adrian Yepes. First place for the shot put, Miss Miley Nunez. Come on down. Congratulations, Miley. First place and new record holder for our school in both the discus and in shot put, Jay Sean Wade. You see all his patches, because he's a three-sport athlete, basketball, football, and track and field. Congratulations to our track and field team. They did an outstanding work. Yeah. While they're taking the pictures, really cool that our school of about 750 students, we compete in our league, and all the schools we compete are double our size. But honestly, in the Mountain View League, not only do we compete, we thrive. Every team makes the playoffs. We have league champions every year. And that's just the dedication of the coaches and our athletes, of course, and the parents support as well. So we're really proud of our athletes to be able to accomplish so much in our league, for sure. Our swim team again, boys and girls swim had an outstanding season. Our girls really did outstanding. And here are some of the places that they received. So first and foremost, I'd like to call our first place for the 50 freestyle, Gabriella Michelle, sorry. She was also first place in the 100 free. Second place for the 200 freestyle, Amelie Lopez Driotes. First place, 100 freestyle, Siani Magdana. Relay race, 200 freestyle league champion. We have obviously for the relays 4 athletes. Eliza Rico, Alisa Rahmi Dizagani. Eliza, congratulations. Amelie Lopez Driotes was part of that squad. Congratulations. And Gabriela Mitchell. Congratulations to our relay team. The backstroke, we have first place, Eliza Rico for the backstroke, 100. Yeah. Congratulations again. Relay, 400 freestyle, Laura Leto. There she is, right on time, Laura. Part of that relay was, for the 400 was Malak El Cohen, Brielle Finley, that's 2 Finleys this evening, and then Sayani Magdana. That's the 400 relay for our swim team, first place. And that's our swim team, congratulations. And if I can please give a round of applause, help me celebrate and congratulate our coaches. We have Miss Stacy Nunez right over here, come on down for our picture. Miss Erica, please come. She's like, no, I'm not dressed. Miss Erica Sanchez. And then is Tracy Hall here by chance? I didn't see her. So we had a hard time finding coaches, and at the last moment, these ladies came in a pinch and did an outstanding job. So thank you, coaches. Thank you. No. There's Brielle. And then here. Owen, Bruno, Brandon, Ethan. There we go. Thank you. Yes. Oh, thanks. You're welcome. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate everyone coming out for that. It was great to be able to recognize our athletes, our scholar athletes. All right, I think we can now move on to the presentation portion of our meeting. Dr. Hillman, you want to get us going on that?
Sure, and I'm going to ask Dr. Lawson to step up. She's going to be providing the presentation of the Duarte Unified School District Local Control Accountability Plan update, which is the piece of it is the California School Dashboard Local Indicators. Dr. Lawson, we're here listening. I know you lost a lot of your audience, but we are really looking forward to hearing about the local indicators.
Well, good evening. It's good to be here again tonight to present some more information as it relates to our LCAP. Tonight I'm going to be talking about our local performance indicators, the self-reflection survey that has to be completed annually. So the California Local Performance Indicator self-reflection is completed annually by each local LEA. and that's our school district. And it's done to demonstrate our progress on specific state priorities that are not measured by the state level data in the California School Dashboard. So that's just a little information about why we need to do it, and now I want to go into some background about the local performance indicators. So the LEAs determine whether they have met the standard for the 5 indicators, and as I stated, these are the ones that are not measured by the state level data. The LEA must have a meeting, and we have to determine whether or not we've met the standard. We do a survey, a reflection survey. It has a series of questions that we get input from our stakeholders, our educational partners, from our administrators, from our teachers, from our parents. We use information from Learning Walks as well to come up with evidence to help support our reflections and what we say, whether we met the standard or not. So there are 3 things that have to be done in order to meet the standard. The first one, we have to, 1, complete the self-reflection, okay? And that we have to measure our progress by this locally available data. The second thing is we have to then report it in a board meeting. So that's number 2. We're here to report it in a board meeting. And then number 3, we have to upload that report it goes on the California dashboard, and that will come out around November 25. So those are the 3 steps that we need to complete in order to have a standard met, okay? So I'm gonna continue. So these are the 8 state priorities, just for your FYI. These are all in our LCAP, and we have goals and actions that are directly aligned to these specific priorities, but I will be talking about 5 tonight. Next slide. All right, priority number 1. This is where we look at if we have appropriately assigned teachers and access to the curriculum aligned with the instructional materials, safe, clean, functional environment, basically the Williams report there. 100% of our school sites have met this criteria here. In 2024, we had 0 Williams complaints, and this is a standard met for us. For priority number 2, this is the implementation of state academic standards. So along with the self-reflection, when we on the self-reflection form, we assess ourselves. We also take other data where we gather from our California School Staff Survey report, and we also take information that we get from our structured learning walks to determine whether or not we're seeing those standards implemented in our classrooms across the district consistently at what particular level. We assess all that, and we have a standard met on that because we fulfilled the 3 criteria. Next slide. For priority number 3, this is with parent engagement, and there are 2 ways that we're looking at this. We look at our parent engagement opportunities. What opportunities do we present for our families to be able to engage in the process? So we have our school site council meetings that are held at our school sites. We have our ELAC meetings that are held at the school site. We have our DLAC meetings that are at the district level, our CEC meetings. Other family engagement opportunities are opportunities at the school site, family events, coffees with the principals, literacy night, science night, STEM night, etc. And then also, how do we reach out to our parents? We use Parent Square. We share our posts, direct messages, and share documents. And then we do our California Schools Parent Survey. And in that survey, it asks a series of questions. That survey goes out in February. We had about 450 parents complete that survey. And on that survey, these are the 3 key areas that we were looking at: building relationships between staff and families, looking at building our partnerships, and then seeking input for decision-making. And so at our parent engagement opportunities, these committee meetings, we have opportunities for parent input. We do the thought exchange where we allow parents to give input at the school sites as well. They have opportunities for parents to give their input at the school site council meetings, at PTA meetings, at ELAC meetings as well. And we have a standard met on that. The next one is priority number 6, was the school climate. And then we administer that climate survey. And then I just shared some information here because we do administer the California Schools Climate Survey. And in that survey, there's a couple of areas that we look at. We want to look at our students feeling safe at our school site. And based upon the scores that we received when the students completed the survey in February, this is some data. We had scores ranging between 86% to 96% of students feeling safe. Under feeling safe, there's a series of questions in addition to that. So that's why there's a range of on the percentages. And then how are kids feeling connected to school? And that ranges from 58% to 91%, depending on the question that was asked on the survey and how the students responded is how we get the range of responses. And then for school connectedness, particularly looking at seventh grade and ninth grade, 56% of the students felt connected, 51% of the ninth graders felt connected. And then feeling safe at school for our grade 7 was at 52%, and for grade 9, 57. We do see a dip as it relates to our primary grades. It seems like our kids are feeling safer and more connected at those grade levels, so we want to continue to focus on that in the 7th through 12th grade to ensure that all of our kids feel safe at school and they feel connected. And feeling connected is having caring adults there. They can say that adults assist them when they have issues, if they bring concerns about bullying or if someone's bothering them or just overall about school concerns. They have an adult there. They feel like the adults are connected and they're caring about them, and that's one of the pieces there in terms of safety. It also looked at, how kids feel about, is there bullying, are they feeling harassed? And the scores just kind of range on by the grade levels and the information that we received from our survey. And then we look at number 7, which is access to a broad course of study. So we look at what courses are presented to our students at our high school campus. Are we providing equitable access to all of our student groups, particularly our English learners, our economically disadvantaged students, our foster youth, our students with disability? Do they all have access to a broad course of study? Do they have access to all the subject areas? And then one of the areas when we're looking at one of the, priority number 2, we're talking about the implementation of state standards. That also goes along with the implementation of the broad course of study. So we teaching, do kids have access to these different courses? And then what does the level of implementation look like with the instruction of those areas? And what does that look like district-wide? And what does that look like district-wide in class, on the school campus in every classroom? And on these, next slide, we have a standard met on that. So the next steps are, we will now, from this meeting, once you get this information, you do have a copy of the reflection, and on that reflection, you'll see there's a rating scale from like 1 to 5, and it looks like the highest level of full implementation was sustainability, and then the lowest level of not. Seeing that there, I think what's clear to note is the levels 3, 4, and 5, where we look at, are we in initial stages of implementation versus full implementation versus implementation, and it's sustainable. And I think one thing to note when we look at that, we're looking at, for full implementation, we're saying that district-wide at every campus and every classroom, we're seeing the same level of consistency of implementation. And I think that's important to note. So if we're not able to fully say in every classroom, at every site across the district, we see that, we're not going to say that we're at full level of implementation. If we're at a level 3, we're looking at that's happening in maybe about 50% of the classes. It doesn't mean that the other classrooms are not doing it, but the level of implementation and the consistency of what we want to see, we're not seeing that consistently in all of the classrooms. So just, I think it's clear to note, important to note those levels 3 versus level 4 versus level 5. And then this is a self-reflection, so it's an opportunity for us to share our story and to be honest about where we are and where our next steps are. As a team, how do we work together to get to that level 5? Because our ultimate goal is to ensure that we're implementing these and addressing these priorities and having implementation of the state standards in every classroom, at every school site, and the same level of implementation. And one other thing to note when we're looking at the level of implementation as it relates to the state standards is looking at our adoptions and where we are in terms of our understanding of the mathematic framework and the reading framework. And so there have been some changes to the frameworks, and we have not, all of our staff they have not all been trained on the new mathematics framework. And so in order to have that full implementation on standard priority number 2, we would want to say that every staff member has been trained, and that has not happened. But we do have staff members going to training this summer for the mathematics framework, and so we're getting that going, and we are looking at how we can bring some site-specific training of the mathematics framework so that our teachers are getting that training on the new framework as well as with reading framework and ELD, so that we can increase that level of implementation across the district. So Next steps again are to then upload the progress on our local indicators to the Fall 25 dashboard. And Dr. Finley, I remember in our study session, you asked this question about the local indicators, about their self-reflection. So I hope that this brings some more insight in terms of what it is and how we use it and how we use that information. The information from this reflection does go into how we develop the LCAP and looking at our actions and looking at our goals and making sure that we're continuing to make strides in addressing the needs of all of our students and particularly working to close that academic achievement gap. We know that that is something that we are going to continue to aggressively approach in our district. So I'm going to go back again because I keep trying to get to the next steps to finish these last 5 points, and so I'm going to finish it now. The next step is to upload the progress for the local indicators. Then the dashboard will be launched typically around November, early December. And that's when we studied the information last year when we had our board study session. We look at the academic piece as well as the information from the survey. We will then use that information. We'll analyze the data that we get. We'll have more information from our SBAC, our CAS assessments, the spring assessments. We'll have that data along with other data that we've collected from the sites to be able to identify our areas of strength and then our areas where we need to continue to grow. And then we will take that information. Schools use that information to drive their school site plans. We use it to continue to drive how we make adjustments with our instruction, how we make adjustments with interventions for our students, how we make adjustments in how we increase parent engagement, what opportunities can we provide for parents, what opportunities can we provide for our staff, what opportunities can we provide for our administrators to ensure that we all continue to grow. And then we use that dashboard information to update our LCAP goals and actions, and we start the whole cycle all over again. So that is the information for our local indicators. Any questions?
Dr. Lawson, thank you so much. Really appreciate you going through those items. Those are very helpful. So before I ask any questions, board, are there any questions or comments for Dr. Lawson?
I do have one question. When you're talking about the implementation levels, where can we find those levels? Can you remind me?
Yeah, so you could go to the CDE.
Okay.
You can go to the CDE website and you can find those levels, it's the 5 levels.
Thank you.
And it breaks it down, you know, the descriptor of each one.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions, board?
On Dr. Lawson, and priority number 3, when you mentioned seeking input for decision making, can you explain a little bit more about that part, please?
Yes, so one of the ways is I'm going to talk about school site council, how we get information in the decision-making when schools are looking at their budgets and they're looking at their data and and determining what it is they need to do to improve achievement for students. We have parents at those meetings. Parents can weigh in on we think we need more interventions. We may need more instructional materials. Is tutoring available? What are we doing in terms of technology for our students? And we seek their input at the school site. In our DLAC meetings and our ELAC meetings at the school site, we are talking to our parents of English learners, and we talk to them about what is it you feel like your students need. We're sharing the data. We're sharing practices and strategies that we use to work with our English learners. We're sharing their progress. In our DLAC meetings, we do the same as well. We talk about the steps to reclassify students and how do we know if a student is proficient or not? What does that look like? What are some things that parents can do at home? Parents are able to share what happens at their school site to ask questions. I share the information about the LCAP, our goals, our actions. We talk specifically about the ones that relate to those specific student groups. They can weigh in and ask questions, give us input, make recommendations, say things that we need to improve on. Those are ways at our CEC meeting as well. We share that information, give parents opportunity to ask questions, give parents opportunity to make recommendations, suggestions. We also look for input on, you know, what are we doing well? Where can we grow? We want to hear where we're making a difference. We also want to hear where we can improve. And so all that information is collected at those meetings. And then at the coffee with the principals, the sites do host those meetings. Not all sites host them at the same level, but they do have opportunities for parents to come. They talk about instruction. They talk about school climate and culture. What does parent engagement look like? What supports do we need for our kids? How can we make our school a happy place? How can we make our district a better place for our families so we can continue to be a place that people want to send their students to learn? You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Lawson. One thing I want to make a comment on. So you had mentioned that for feedback from parents, you got 450 parents to respond. That's really commendable. So I don't know what was done to reach out to parents, but I think that's a really nice sample size. So I'm pleased that we had that much engagement. I mean, I think that in and of itself is maybe a measure of engagement from our parents. So in relation to these sort of self-assessment scores that we give, as this process is taking place, is there ever sort of a look back to say, okay, what did we do? You know, what did we score ourselves last year or 3 years ago to sort of see whether or not we're moving the needle on a lot of these measurements?
So that wasn't a specific question. The question is, what have we done? What are we doing well, and where do we need to continue to grow? So I think that does allow for that opportunity for that reflection, but it's presented more like that.
I see. Okay.
And then some of the areas, particularly when we look at the implementation with the state standards, we're also looking at where we are with some of our adoptions and the stages where we are. And we just adopted, for example, our science in our K-8. We did adopt the science, and so there's a greater focus looking at the NGSS standards because of a new curriculum that we have. But some of our curriculum is a little old, so that also kind of impacts our reflection in terms of when we say where we are in terms of our level of implementation. Because over the course of time, when you've had a particular adoption, when you get to like the 8th year, you start to see a lot of variations of what it should look like. And so that's one area for us to continue to focus on ensuring that consistency of practices is happening across the district.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Board, any other questions or comments for Dr. Lawson?
I have a quick question. Dr. Lawson, on number 6, the response for school climate, is that done from 5th grade to 12th, or is it just from 5th to 9th?
So that one is done, it's 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th grade. Yes, and then depending on the sample size will determine our scores that the scores that we receive. So we can have we need a large enough sample size to get accurate data, good measure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Lawson. We really appreciate the time and effort that went into this report and this presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we'll go to Dr. Hillman for the superintendent's report.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Lawson. That's an excellent report. I'd just like to mention to everyone that as we close out the month of June, I'd like to share that just a couple of updates that are going on here in the summer. It's a little quiet around here. Our summer school programs are just wrapping up with many of our students completing their coursework, while others are continuing with internships and other enrichment opportunities. Just for the community's sake, to know that our summer meal distribution program will continue to serve students throughout the month of July, while many of our teachers and administrators are on well-deserved breaks, others are participating in professional learning and attending trainings that Dr. Lawson was speaking of right now, that help support the important work that we have for our students. Just as a note to our families, are reminded to complete their student registration for the new school year. They'll receive notification after July 21st. When you see that coming in, make sure you complete that registration form. And then behind the scenes, just a shout out to our maintenance and custodial and technology teams that are hard at work on projects that ensure our campuses are clean, safe, and ready for the first day of school, which is August 13th, 2025. Construction is progressing on the interior of our new gym. The final pieces are being put in place, and once we receive that final inspection, the construction team turns the facility over to us. We will plan opportunities for students, staff, and families in the community to tour the new amazing space. We don't have a firm date yet, but we'll share that information as soon as everything is confirmed. And finally, regarding the proposed development of the Andres Duarte campus property, the City of Duarte has published the environmental impact report provided by the developer. This report is available for review on the city's website, and public comment is encouraged through the end of July. Once the public comment period closes, the Planning Commission will hold a meeting to review the project, bringing us one step closer to transforming that site. The proposed project includes significant upgrades to the adjacent park, benefiting the entire community, as well as family-oriented housing designed to attract new families to Duarte and to our great schools. So thank you for that. It concludes my report, and I look forward to hope everyone has a wonderful summer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hillman. All right, do we have any requests to address the board? All right, thank you very much. Okay, we'll now move on to the general functions. So first on that is the approval of the minutes from our regular meeting on June 12th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Diaz, second by Board Member Reyes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next, we'll move on to the next item of business is the adoption of the consent calendar. Does anyone have any items that they would like to remove for separate discussion or action? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as written?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Reyes, second by, was it Ms. Holguin? All right, thank you. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Excellent, that passes 5-0. All right, we'll move on to the first reading of board policy. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve?
Motion
Second.
by Board Member Hasso.
Second.
Second by Board Member Reyes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, that passes 5-0. Next item is just to receive for information. It's the construction and modernization reports for the update for June 2025. Encourage the community to go and take a look at those. Next is personnel and student services. This is item 13.1. Management employment contracts. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Motion by
Second.
Board Member Holguin, second by Board Member Diaz. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes 5-0. Next, we have 13.2, Assistant Superintendent Employment Agreements. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Diaz, second by Board Member Holguin. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next item is 14.1. This is the 2025-2026 California School Dashboard Local Educational Agency Local Indicators.
So move.
Oh, yes, motion to approve. Board Member Diaz. Do I have a second? Second by Board Member Reyes. Any discussion, board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next is 2025-2026 Consolidated Application for Funding Categorical Aid Programs. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Diaz, second by Board Member Holguin. Any discussion, board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 5-0. Next, we're receiving for information. This is the Duarte Child Development State Preschool Program Self-Evaluation for 2024-2025. This was put together by Ms. Sophia, and it was a very comprehensive evaluation. So I'd encourage everyone to go take a look at that. Excellent work. All right, next we'll move on to business and finance. So this is item 15.1. This is the public hearing regarding AB 1200, public disclosure and the tentative agreement between the Duarte Unified School District and the California School Employees Association, CSEA, and its Duarte chapter number 25. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing for item 15.1?
Move to open hearing.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Reyes, second by Board Member Holguin. So now the public hearing is open. Oh, sorry, we need to vote on that. Sorry about that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, now the public hearing is open. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to close.
Second. Oh,
Motion by Board Member Reyes, second by Board Member Holguin. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All righty. Moving on then to 15.2. This is AB 1200 Public Disclosure and the tentative agreement between Duarte Unified School District and the California School Employee Association, CSEA, and its Duarte chapter number 25. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second. Oh,
Motion by Board Member Reyes, second by Board Member Hasso. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Next, 15.3, approval of the Duarte Unified School District's 2025-2026 Local Control and Accountability Plan. Do I have a motion to approve?
so move.
Motion by Board Member Diaz.
Second.
Second by Board Member Hasso. Any discussion, Board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next is 15.4. This is for the approval of the Duarte Unified School District's adopted budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Board Member Reyes, second by Board Member Holguin. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 5-0. And Board, that now brings us to the end of our agenda.
So 5 is.
And so we are on to non-agendized items. So, yes, so just as a reminder, 15.5 was pulled from the agenda. All right, so we'll move on now to non-agendized items. So I'll start on my end and move that way. How about that? I think we did the opposite earlier this month. I want to just express some gratitude for all of our Duarte Unified teachers and certificated staff, classified staff, management, everybody who, in my opinion, made this past school year a really big success for our students. It was really a special one. I think especially it was poignant for me because I had a senior who was graduating, and I think that it really was a year to remember. And for all three of our kids, they really enjoyed this school year, and I'm very, very grateful for all those that work to educate our scholars, to keep them safe, and to make sure that school is a positive environment for them to come to each and every day during the school year. And I think there's probably no better testament to that than when I hear about the number of students that are participating in summer school this summer. I believe I heard it was around 1,000 students. Is that correct? That is, I mean, you know, I know that there's probably some kids that have to make up some credits, but that is the minority of those students that are attending this summer. Our kids are hungry for knowledge, they're hungry for learning, they're hungry for doing something important with their lives, and I think that Duarte Unified is able to provide that. And so I'm really thankful for all those that make that happen each and every day, even during the summer. So just a little bit of gratitude for all that make that magic happen on our campuses. So thank you. Board Member Diaz.
I echo some of your comments, and that will do it for tonight for me.
Thank you very much. Board Member Holguin.
I have been at the high school, and yes, all the kids are out there. They are excited. I've seen some of the teachers engaging with the kids, especially at Maxwell. It's really refreshing, and just like you said, everybody's been working so hard. Thank you. I want to thank everybody, the staff, the teachers, the parents, Steve for coming to most of our meetings, and look forward to next month and the kids getting ready to come back to school.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Board Member Hasso.
Thank you so much. congrats to the athletes we recognized tonight, and just a great testament to the programs that we offer, not just academically, but our sports programs. And thanks to the coaches, I know they're extending their day to support our athletes, and so just a little shout out to them. I had the opportunity to visit Maxwell, I believe it was on Tuesday this week, with Dr. Hillman and Ms. Steinstra to get a little peek of their Brain Trust program, which we voted on in May for implementation over the course of the summer. And that was that kind of math program with the 4 students to a group through Brain Trust. And it was really eye-opening and neat to see it in action. And so thank you to Dr. Hillman and Mrs. Steinstra for opening the classrooms. It helped demystify what was presented on paper. So I think it's a good opportunity to address students' needs in those small groups, which we wouldn't otherwise have the capacity to do given our staff. Dr. Lawson, thank you for the update on the LCAP. And I think that's all I wanted to say tonight. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Board Member Hasso and Board Member Reyes.
Yes, thank you. I had an opportunity to go play tennis the other day with my wife and family, and we went on the courts. And I'm paying for it tonight. I've been paying for it for the last 3 days. I promised myself I wasn't going to stretch and reach for that ball. I was going to let it come to me, but my pride got in the way. I just wanted to know who is going to be responsible to keep the tennis courts clean. Okay, is it our responsibility or the Parks and Rec? And then there's a hole in the fence. Okay, that's been there, I guess, for a while. And I want to say I believe there's someone sleeping on one of the tennis courts because we saw blankets piled up in a corner. And I don't mind taking my blower out there to clean the courts. I've done it before when my daughter was on the tennis team. So I have no problem doing that. The other thing was that I've been told too that we're supposed to have police patrolling. Is that true? On the campus, or they don't come on the campus? Okay, because there's been people also sleeping under the bleachers on the football field, you know, under those bleachers. I guess they're back again because we had that issue years before, you know. And thank you for getting the fencing at Valley View done. That was important to some of the parents over there. They really appreciate it and told me to thank you. And that's it for tonight. Have a happy 4th, everybody. You know, maybe we'll see you over there at the park on the 3rd.
On the 3rd, yeah.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Board Member Reyes. Dr. Hillman, do you have anything that you wanted to wrap up with?
Well, given that it's me between everybody getting out of here before 8 o'clock, I'd like to start by saying, good night, everyone. Have
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Reyes, second by Board Member Hasso. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, Board. Okay.
Can he? There's camera there? Where's that?